You are listening to the Soul Curators podcast, where we get into the funk and soul of things. It's all about good conversations about music. So come join us.
Welcome to the Soul Curators podcast. Home of technical difficulties. We are back with a new episode, but we are so happy. This is a very special and a historic episode because this is the first time we have a returning family member. She said she was coming back and she came back. Before we introduce our guests, we definitely want to introduce ourselves. I'm your guy, Mr. Goodbar, the luckiest man on the planet right now. I'll explain later in a second. Straight out of Houston, and I got my sister Christina Curates in the building. What up, C?
Hey y'all, how y'all doing?
All good. We got to give a special shout out to Soup's Kitchen and of course Mr. Al Pete. But we are honored to be joined again by an incredible vocalist, an incredible performer, friend of the show. The one and only Tamisha Waden is back on the Soul Curators podcast. What's going on, ma'am?
Yeah. How y'all doing? Look, I'm glad to be back. Happy to make history with you.
Listen, you are definitely doing that. Absolutely. We are so excited to see you again. It's always a pleasure. And like I said before, we gave you some time to let this whole thing breathe. But now it's time for us to sit down and have a family dinner conversation about this incredible single that you recently released, Happy For Me. Congratulations to you, first of all.
Appreciate it.
And I told you on social media how much of a chokehold this song had on me. We're going to get into that also. So Can you tell us a little bit about how this came about, the single, just what it means to you, all of those things?
Man, gosh. For starters, I will just say this. I have a habit of writing songs, and I write them and never put them out initially. And then years will pass. And then eventually, like one day I have an epiphany. It's like, I want to put this out. So I do. But I'll just say it's been a long time coming for this particular song. It was written in 2008. And there's a story of sorts behind it. But I will just say this. I have some of the best friends. And this song was written actually with a good friend of mine. His name is Harold Simmons, but we call him Anthony Wright because he is an incredible songwriter. And I'll just say this. We met 9th grade gospel choir, and we have been friends since. So
that's what's up.
Two friends just got together. I won't say got together, but two friends basically ended up having a conversation because he's always counseling his friends. So he was counseling me at the time. And that's how this song came about, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, so pretty special song. But yeah, it means the world to have it out. The moment that it was recorded, because the production was done before I actually came in to record vocals. But the moment it was recorded, we said, this is it. This is that one. So, just like I said, it feels great to now have it out in the world, which is what we wanted to do. Obviously, circumstances happen, things happen over time. You don't get to do what you want to do, but I feel like there's always an appointed time for things to happen. And I feel like this was the right time. So, yeah.
I have to say, you said 2008 is when the song was written. I have to tell you, I really needed it in 2008.
Oh, wow.
Because when I heard it and I listened to the lyrics, like it touched me in a special way because it's extremely relatable. Like, I don't know anybody who has not been in that situation before.
Yeah.
And you almost made me go back in my old phone book and send it to people that needed to hear it because I felt that way and I couldn't express it the way you did.
Exactly. Yep.
Like,
don't send those texts now.
Right.
It almost happened, man. I'm sorry, Christina. Go ahead. It almost.
So, how did the how did it come about that you were able to have this on the movie? I thought it was I love to see the reaction that you gave online with your friends watching it. I know that had to be like a moment of, oh my God, this is my stuff. This is my music on, production. How did that come about?
Man, so just a little bit about, I'll tell you about some of the friends that were in that room that night and just how this came about. So there was a collective once upon a time called Valley Boy Music, which is how this song ended up coming to be. We were a collective. We were working on music. Initially, it was my record we were working on. And fast forward years later, people have their ups and downs, lives, people fall out, the whole nine. One of the producers, who I don't talk to him often, and, we've been in contact with one another. He is also, his name is Mike Blaze. We just call him Blaze. He actually is the point person. So he had the connect, and obviously he writes for so many different artists. Raheem DeVaughn being one of probably the biggest artists that he's written for in recent years, maybe over the last 2-3 years here. He scored some records with him, and he's the point man. So this young man, and forgive me because I cannot think of the young man's name, who is the one that actually reached out and said, I love this song. I want this song for the movie. Forgive me. I can't remember his name. Sweet guy. And I have spoken with him over the phone, and he told me how he was a fan of my voice and how he really loved the song. And so, but long story short, he and Mike Blaze are friends. And so obviously, they throw work to one another. What he did was reached out and just said, hey, I need some songs for a movie. And little did I know that Happy for Me was one of the songs submitted. Now, he has a whole library of stuff that I've sung and written and everything. And he could have sent him anything. But Happy for Me was one of the songs that were sent. And fortunately for me, out of all of the material that was chosen, Happy for Me happened to be one of the ones that they just fell in love with and said, hey, we got to have this one. And I will just say this. When I found out, which was mid-July, it was right before my birthday. I was about to board a plane to go to Puerto Rico. And I got a call that said, hey, this is real. And I was like, yeah, no, it's not. Like, y'all pulling my leg, whatever. Yeah. I come back and it's like, hey, like, this is real. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And so obviously I took time to yell and scream in the phone once I found out. But that's the connection. It was Mike Blaze, who was one of the producers on the record, who submitted it for this particular movie, or I think it was actually a series of movies, but it was chosen for this one specifically. So I'm grateful because that doesn't happen every day.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you have to work to be able to, submit your stuff, and you're, kind of one of many, right? But in this situation, I just chalk it up to God just saying, hey, let me go and bless my girl here.
Absolutely.
Go and keep the party going,
Right.
So, but yeah, that's how that came about. And like I said, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to the team of producers because everybody had a hand in it. There's Nicholas Boyd, who we call him Nicholas R. Flawless. He's an MC. It's him strumming guitar on this record, and Mike Blaze on production, myself, and Harold Simmons on lyrics, who wrote the actual song. And you also hear, if you're listening to instrumentation, the bass, that is Darian Alexander, who is also bass player for the Foreign Exchange. So,
wow. Darian, I know who that is. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yes, that's him on bass. He was around during that time, and when we decided to put the record out, against my better wishes, I said I think we should have him do it over, but I was told to chill, like just let it be, let it go, because the song had been recorded for a while, and nothing was wrong with the vocals. I went back and touched up a few things, the bass was something that, I think everybody was in agreement of not wanting to touch it. So I said, okay, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right. And we didn't. So, like I said, just excited that, this would happen. And it was such, the timing of it was, I couldn't have asked for better timing, honestly. So, yeah.
Your name, your music, and your sound connected to a Terry McMillan project.
Right.
Let's just marinate on that for a second.
Let's pause for a moment and just reflect on that part.
You are in the alumni of people like Whitney Houston, Faith Evans, SWV. I can go on and on. We are so ecstatic for you for this blessing that you got, because this is incredible. And then it's cool that we know you, but the fact that the song is so crazy kind of takes it somewhere else. It really, this is really not just about us being connected to you. This really is an incredible song, and it's touching people. So I just can't express enough how happy we are for you and to be available to help support this, because we are just loving everything about it. But the Terry McMillan thing, what are we doing? What are we talking about right now?
Right. And I literally, the day that it actually aired and came out and everything, we didn't release the song on the same day. Obviously, we couldn't time that, to be, we tried, but we couldn't. The threshold was just too skinny for us to try to get the song out the same day as the movie. And so I said, well, at best, let's try to drop it that Tuesday. And fortunately, the service that we went with this time around allowed us to drop the song in literally a few days, 2 to 3 days. And so I was like, thank you, God. Because I didn't want it to be a long time. It comes out on this movie, and then folks got to wait a whole week to get the song. I was like, I don't want it to be that long. So it's just, like I said, the timing of everything, the person who wrote the movie, and she wrote actually this movie. I don't know if you know, but this particular movie, Tempted by Love, is a part of a series of different movies. So it was a series. That's just one of the movies within that series. And so, again, I could not have asked for better timing, and what a heck of a way to release a song.
Right.
Yes.
A movie.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's definitely a bucket list for artists, I'm sure, to be able to have their music on, because, you like you said, it doesn't happen that often. So that's definitely a blessing.
Yeah. So I've got some more coming.
Hey.
Okay.
Got some more coming. I feel like, I don't know, Fonte said this to me one time. He said, if you want to be the artist that drops a single here and there and every now and again and then go about your life, he said, you know what? This day and time, you can do it.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Absolutely.
I said, oh my God, I feel like that artist. But realistically, my process of creation sometimes takes longer because there's a lot of moving pieces. A lot of my stuff is not electronically done. So I have to hire musicians a lot of times to play the music. That costs money. Right. Obviously, you have to have studio space to do it. So, got to find the studio space to go and do that and that kind of thing. And honestly, I would just let you in on a little secret. Happy for Me was recorded in my partner's house in his living room.
Wow.
We set up shop in his living room and recorded.
See, that's the type of energy that we as a Soul Curators exist for. For the type of love that artists like yourself have for the sound, that you will just make it work wherever you can make it work. And it doesn't have to be in a big, gigantic Dr. Dre studio. It can be right. You know what I'm saying? And to see it manifest where it came from to where it is now, that really adds more to the testimony of the song to me.
Yeah.
That nugget just took that song somewhere else for me. Thank you for sharing that, for real.
Yeah, go ahead. Did you?
No, I said that's awesome. I was like, that's awesome that happened.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you. But yeah, it's my process, and sometimes I like to live with a song for a while before I go in and I sing it. If it's something I'm just writing, a lot of times I won't go right in and record it. Sometimes I like to perform it for a while. I like to try it out on audiences.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so it's a lot of fun. Doing that. Somebody said you should stop doing that. People record your stuff.
Oh, you know how social media is. Your stuff will be on the doggone internet before you realize, wait a minute, that's
my song, right? So, but there's more coming. This really, I will just tell you, one day I'm gonna tell my story like for real. My story. And people will understand sometimes why. Well, with other artists too, we go through our ups and downs just like everybody else, and sometimes our process gets interrupted by everything because we are life and just like everybody else is, right? Mm-hmm. Or I should say living, not living, but living just like everyone else. And so, like I said, there's more coming. I'm excited about the more that's coming because the more that's coming really tells you where I've been, why I've been, and I'm here now.
Okay. Well, you know where you can come to bring that new music,
Absolutely.
We can even set up a whole listening, like we did with Carlita. We did her EP, so we can definitely do that. So whenever you're ready.
I would love that. I would absolutely love that. Speaking of Carlita, oh my God, all I could say was sheesh. That record is amazing. Absolutely.
Yes.
I don't know what's in the water in North Carolina, but y'all out there doing all kind of amazing, artistic, creative stuff, and we are loving every bit of it. And
every bit of it.
You touched on performing. Have you performed? I know you've been doing a lot of performances recently. Have you been able to perform that song?
I actually have, and I try not to watch numbers and things too much, but Happy For Me has received a great response. Like, again, more than what I can even ask. And I will just say this. I thought my father was my biggest cheerleader. My mom has surpassed him, and my mom is super quiet. She is very just, she's sing a lot, not her. She's very quiet and shy. But folks have been talking it up, and I appreciate you all and everyone. I have to say this: who's spinning the record, who's promoting it, sharing it. Thank everybody, because I haven't actually had the time to come on and thank anybody. I got sick, of course, and whatever is going around. Y'all protect yourselves, because it not only will it make you sick, it lasts or it lingers, and so. Yeah. I got sick, unfortunately, and hadn't been able to come on because I said, I'm not coming on looking crazy. So I said, let me get myself together first. And obviously, when you reached out, I was like, oh, this is perfect. So
well, you look amazing. I'm glad you're feeling a lot better. And I cannot reiterate this enough, like on behalf of the MPN Network and the Soul Curators Network, like I said, this is not just a favoritism thing. You really got one with this. Like, this is one of them ones. This is going to be one of your songs you performing when you're 85. Like, it's one of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
right. Yeah.
This is fire. And we couldn't wait to talk to you about it.
Thanks. So you were talking about, you were touring. I see that you performed with Remy Williams in the summertime. Well, it's the end of the summer, right? Is it summer? Summer's over with. Yeah. So how? I love his voice. And I know he's done a lot with different people.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. I actually, which is interesting enough, opened for him for that particular show. And when I got the call, I was like, yeah, because I had already checked him out, so I knew who he was, and I was like, heck yeah, I don't mind. And it gave me an opportunity to kind of stretch out. I got a go back through the footage, but I didn't put any of the footage out, but you actually see and hear me play piano on this show. So I sit down and I actually play the piano on this particular show, which was so much.
Ma'am.
Wow.
You let us see. I mean, man, what are we holding on to?
So much fun. That's why that's why I say I cannot wait. There's so much coming, and so much to put out there, including the fact that I do play a little bit of piano. I don't brag about it because I am not anywhere close to a Zoe or a play. But Tamisha will do what she can do. So it was a fun show. Remy, amazing. Not just as a musician, vocalist, but he, personality-wise, we talked backstage and cackled and laughed and the whole nine. Amazing. Truly amazing.
I was happy to see that. I was like, man, I wish that could be something that we all could see. But I know that Missy Lane is a really nice venue, so that's pretty dope.
You guys have to. Well, you didn't get to check it out the last time because it wasn't open when you all were here.
Right. Yes, it was.
Well, listen. Don't worry. We've been brainstorming on behind the scenes about some stuff we trying to do. So we may surprise you. We may surprise you.
Listen, let me know because I will be front.
Absolutely. Listen, Tamisha, we thank you so very much. It's always an honor and a pleasure to talk to you, and we're just so excited about the things that have been happening for you. This single is incredible. We cannot wait for the surprises and the new things you got coming for us. And, as Christina said so eloquently, you already know where you got to come. You got a home here. So, of course, anything we can do on all of our 20 million platforms, please let us know. Just know we spinning the record retardedly. Like, we going off. It's up. It's so up.
That means
thank you for supporting us because, when we interview people, the expectation is not for you all to stay in tune with us, but you do. And you do with us collectively and individually. So we definitely appreciate you for that.
Absolutely.
Being a supporter.
I said it. I love what y'all put down. I really do. The playlist that you all curate and put out, the conversations you all have about music, the different artists you bring on, like that's right down my alley. And I absolutely love it. I told, who was I talking to? I think it was Cicely. I might have been talking to Cicely. But I was saying, they feel like family. Honestly. It just feels like family. You know what I mean? So I absolutely love y'all. And we'll continue to support for sure.
Absolutely. And since you mentioned playlists, for all the listeners of this episode, we will have a special Tamisha playlist mix put together. It will be up on the Soul Qurators SoundCloud for you to enjoy as much as you want. So, and we will, of course, have Happy For Me on there. We got to have that, you know what I'm saying, amongst all of her other classics that we love to death. So, listen, again, we want to thank you for taking this time this evening to spend time with us. Again, we appreciate you, and you already know where you got to come when it's time for us to make a move, all right?
Absolutely. Thank you, and the pleasure was all mine.
Likewise. So on behalf of Soup's Kitchen, Mr. Alp, and who's that lady right there?
This is Christina Curate.
Listen, this is the Soul Curators podcast with the wonderful Tamisha Waden. Thank y'all for tuning in and checking us out. Please make sure you run up Happy For Me. Stream it, run it up. Go purchase the single. Make sure you watch Tempted by Love. If you haven't watched it, go watch it and send her clips of her song when the sing come on so she know you watched it.
Yes.
And we thank y'all for tuning in with us. We love y'all. Peace and love.
Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to the Soul Curators podcast, powered by the MPN Network. You can check us out on all streaming platforms where podcasts are available.